Mythical Podcast, Episode 5. Welcome, boys. How are you guys?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
what's going on? What's going on?
Here with Danny and Gary, per usual.
Crazy week.
Crazy
It's
week?
been a fun one. It's been a fun one,
man.
for sure.
What do you want to kick it off with?
Let's talk about Blanchfield first.
You wanna
Let's
do
talk
a
about the
prediction?
new fight coming up this week. This weekend, Saturday night. We're only going to talk about the main card just because we have
Main
this.
event.
Main event. I'm sorry.
Can't go through the whole card.
No.
No time for that, man. Let's
Yeah.
have that.
Between the recap for last week, with all of the controversy coming up, we're definitely going to be able to fill plenty of time, I think.
Yeah.
And honestly, this Blanchfield Andrade, that only got nailed down on Saturday.
Yeah, Santos pulled out.
Yeah. So
she had visa issues or something.
But I mean, honestly, this is a better fight.
You think it's a better
I think
fight?
it's a better fight. Yeah, between Jessica Andrade versus Erin Blanchfield.
It is interesting.
It's a super interesting fight because Andrade, she doesn't back down.
No, she's a fucking pit bull, huh?
She pushes forward.
I think this is gonna be a huge step up for Blanchfield.
It's a
It's a huge one, and it's gonna be interesting.
But to be fair,
Yeah.
Taila Santos would have been a huge step up too.
Yeah,
I think she's the 1 seed right now.
I don't know if she's 1 seed.
I think she is, dude.
Is she?
Yeah, because she had a great fight against Chevy, I think. Lost.
Oh yeah,
But
I mean,
am I bullshitting?
you probably are.
I am bullshitting, but she lost a split decision to Valentina, dude.
So if
But
she's-
that was a very close fight.
She could have won.
She could have won. It could have
Yeah.
go either way.
So either one of these fighters would have been a huge step
She
up
is
for
number one.
Blanchfield, man. Huge
Yeah.
step up. I mean,
Honestly-
we're talking about Molly McCann last time.
Yeah,
They're
that's
going
true.
up from now going to Taila Santos and Andrade now.
But I think,
mean-
honestly, I think it is a better fight because I think Andrade is just who you get with Andrade. Which that's weird too, right? Because Taila Santos is number 1 seed and Blanchfield's number 10 seed. I think that's kind of crazy.
I'm telling you, that's a huge.
Yeah,
That's a huge
Why would
I think it's
step up.
because how she looked. I mean, she's dominating.
She's dominating everybody.
I mean, we
She
saw
is.
what happened with Molly McCann.
Yeah, I was not expecting that, to be honest with you.
Dude, that was embarrassing for Molly.
It wasn't.
She
it
got
wasn't good.
fucking destroyed, dude.
Yeah.
It was,
Her
and-
ground game, she's very strong.
Oh, yeah.
Very young, only 23
and
years
she's a
old.
pit bull in herself, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's
Yeah.
not going to back down either.
Absolutely.
And super young.
Yeah,
She's
she's up and coming.
23 years old. She can, if she continues, I think she can get a title fight. She will be the youngest flyweight women's championship.
Mhm.
And honestly, it could happen.
It could happen. It's possible. You never know.
It's definitely possible. I mean, she looks really promising, dude. I mean, her takedowns are insane.
Yeah.
You know, she averages 4 takedowns a fucking fight right now, which is more than 1 round.
Right.
She hasn't had a 5-round.
And she has like 6 fights in the UFC, I
4.
believe. 4?
Yeah,
4. And she's dominated each one of them, quite honestly.
Yeah, she got a couple decisions too.
She did, but even those decisions, dude, even those decisions are impressive, though, if you go back. They really are. I mean, what she did to Miranda Maverick was impressive. Did you watch that? Did you guys watch that
I
fight?
haven't watched that one. No, I
Miranda
didn't watch that one.
Maverick
I watched
is-
the.
Noticeably more stronger than her. Like, when you just look at them, and looks bigger, too. She took her down the whole fucking fight.
Yeah.
And controlled her.
I mean, dude, that's.
On some G shit, man.
Now, what you think of her striking? What's your
Good,
take
man.
on?
Pretty solid. Honestly, she works a jab. Like, it's smart. It's not nothing crazy, but she works a jab.
No,
She follows it up and she puts on pressure.
She's a smart
She
fighter.
puts on pressure. She's like all around pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
You know? Now, can she beat Jessica Andrade? I don't fucking know about that.
That's a big.
personally.
It's a
Yeah.
big ask.
Now, the question should be, because we know in striking, Andrade has a huge advantage.
Mhm.
The question is, can she take her down? That's going to be
think
the
so.
question.
I think so.
And then can she deal with the jiu-jitsu of
Can
Andrade?
Blanchfield take down Andrade, you think? That's what you're asking?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
think she could
I
take
think
it down?
she can. I think she's super strong. She has what it. Her grappling is high level, man. She's very good with grappling.
Well,
So
here's
I
the
don't
thing, though,
see
man.
why she would have a problem
The
with
thing
it.
about that is, I took a look at that as well. That's the big question, right? The thing about Andrade is very good takedown defense, 73%. The only real women that have taken her down are Shevchenko obviously, right?
Right.
Valentina can do that to fucking
She's,
whatever she feels like.
She used to fight at 135 and then go down to 125.
Yeah. Tisha Torres, now that's questionable because that's smaller. She's much smaller.
Yeah.
Right. You know, whatever she's called, little tornado or whatever. And Pennington. Out of all the fights that Andrade has, there's only a few people that have taken her down.
And now the question is, did they hold him down? The question is, did they hold him down for long?
Not really, except
Not
for
really,
Pennington.
right?
Except for Pennington, who's bigger. You know.
Yeah.
Well, that's
So it's a great matchup in that regard because Blanchfield's been taking everybody down and controlling them, and Andrade, we really haven't seen a whole lot of that. Maybe Shevchenko. That's about it.
Yeah.
You know, because Shevchenko did finish her in a crucifix as well. Which is exactly what the fuck Blanchfield loves to do. Puts people in the crucifix. Just like
That fight with Molly.
That's all she did. She just crucifixed her and just fucking elbowed the shit out of her, you know?
That's a good move. I hate that move.
So, I mean...
John Jones likes that too. He does it.
So did Big Country. Roy Nelson. That was like his favorite thing. His favorite thing in the world.
It's a super dominant position, of course. Right?
Well, yeah. I mean,
you have a free arm to fuck them up.
You're just laying on top of them and just holding their hands on the
And you can elbow. You can start fucking just wailing on their face. They can't do shit.
I mean it's a smart move.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Especially if you are somebody like John Jones or Big Country, where
you know those
have enough weight.
elbows.
Yeah, and that's the problem.
Yeah.
Is once you get held down like that, you have no defense. So it's only a matter of time you're going to get 3 elbows in the face, and it's called, right? You have to call that. It has to be called. Could it happen that way? I don't think so. I don't think that's
why I said this is going to be a huge test for her.
Yeah,
because like rankings. In some cases, they do matter because if you have someone in the top 5 and then someone just entering the top 10, there's only a few people that has been able to hold out, like we saw O'Malley when he was fighting Petrion. I was very impressed by his performance.
It was a great fight.
Yeah,
that was a great fight.
And I believe he wasn't even in the top 10. He was like, what, top 12?
I think he was.
I think he was 10.
He was 10.
He was 10, right?
10 or 11.
Yeah, something like that. Something crazy.
Yeah, he wasn't top 5 or nothing. That's for sure.
No, and he did it.
I called that one. I
called
that one.
Yeah,
you did. That was a good call on you.
I like Sugar. I like Sugar on that one.
Very close fight.
It was a super close fight, but
I thought he won too. Honestly,
I did. Yeah. I mean, it was.
He dropped. I believe he dropped. Well, he wobbled Patreon, but I don't think he dropped him. Right?
No,
I don't remember. I just remember him having the better striking moments.
He wobbled him a couple times, but he is a really good striker.
Of course.
But anyway, who do you got? Andrade or Blanchfield?
I think I'm gonna go with the more experienced Jessica Andrade. Not only that she's super strong, she's more experienced, but she's still in her prime, guys. She's only 31 years old.
She is still in her
31 years old, in her physical prime. I think she's gonna win.
I don't think anybody's taking that away from her, right? I mean, I don't think anybody's saying that she's not in her prime. But Evan, who do you got?
You want to go first? Tough one for me, man. It's a great matchup. I think it's down to 2 questions for me for Blanchfield. Really, is can she keep her down? Can she deal with the jiu-jitsu too? Because I don't think she's had an opponent that has good jiu-jitsu as good as jiu-jitsu as Jessica Andrade has. Like the submission threat is going to be.
And the striking too.
And that was the other question.
Yeah.
When it's on the feet, how much is it going to be on the feet? How quickly can she take her down? If Jessica Andrade starts stuffing takedowns, man, she might get KO'd, dude. I mean, the power of Andrade is not something to fuck with.
It's not. I mean,
she has a couple of things to get over, man. It's the power and the potential submissions to cancel out her dominant wrestling. If it does come down to that, I gotta go with Andrade. I think Erin Blanchfield looks fantastic. Jessica Andrade is like no one really beats her except the top of the top. It feels like.
I don't disagree.
There you go.
Yep.
The man who always disagree with us. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, it's not a bad pick though. You
can do whatever you want. We're just messing with you.
Blanchfield looks unstoppable, man. It's not a bad pick at all.
It's not a bad pick.
I am going with Blanchfield, but I mean, I also think I just think her striking is there. I think she can hold her own against Andrade. I think on the feet. I think the ground game is going to be the big test. Absolutely, it's going to be the biggest test that she's ever had. Don't get me wrong, the striking is absolutely a big test to her too. But I think she is absolutely one of the better strikers in her weight class. I just think that's true. And as for the ground game, I think she's also one of the best in that.
Yeah, her potential is through the roof.
At that age, it's quite impressive.
Being 23, man. I mean, I think that's huge, and
Yeah.
she's been doing nothing but learning.
God, I wish I could be 23 again.
I wish, right? I wish.
And know what you know now.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I would have bought Bitcoin, bro. Like, for sure.
Yeah.
But, bro, I mean, I like Blanchfield in this fight. I mean, I liked her against Santos as well. I think this is a tougher opponent, whether it's on paper or.
I mean, Santos, her ground is.
Santos is great.
Yeah, man.
Santos
She
is great.
She was giving Shevchenko a lot of problem.
Yeah.
Like, I thought for a moment she was gonna get.
She almost did.
Submitted. Yeah.
She almost did. But I mean, I definitely have to go Blanchfield on this one. I like what she's doing in the octagon. I think she has a lot of potential. Her roof is like she has no ceiling right now.
Yeah.
Because it's just nothing but progression, especially with her young age.
I just think she's going to need to get that takedown and keep her down. Otherwise, this is going to be a Jessica Andrade match.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, and also I am worried about the level of jumping competition here. Like Danny pointed out earlier, like this is you going from Molly McCann to top of the top.
Sure.
And it's like that's
rough.
a big jump.
It's
big jump, and I'm not so sure that she's ready for that yet.
Yeah. I mean, she's definitely going to be a title contender.
I'll tell you what, she's not gonna run through Jessica Andrade like she has with all these other women.
No, this is actually going to be.
I mean, the only way I could see this could play out two ways. She either get knocked the F out,
Yep.
or she can do overwhelm Andrade, with her wrestling without getting submitted, of course. And she could win a decision. You never know. Anything,
I agree.
Anything can happen in the MMA world. We see like this huge monster, striker, like, oh, that person has no chance, and then you see it,
when you
getting dominated. Like when Glover fought, I believe he fought Corey Anderson, right? He lost that fight, right? Corey Anderson was just taking him down.
Yeah.
And we, everybody thought that he wasn't going to get, KO in the first round. But no, he kept him down and he won the fight. The same thing can happen here. But the chances of that happening is going to be very hard.
Sure.
It's going to be very hard. It's not impossible, but, it's going to be hard.
Yeah, I have the slight edge to Andrade. I think it's going to be a close fight, though.
It's going to be a very close
fight. I think it's
fight.
going to go to decision.
I think it's going to decision. It's either decision or somebody's getting submitted.
You think Blanchfield by decision, then?
I do think Blanchfield by decision. I also think Blanchfield by submission. I wouldn't be surprised if she gets a submission on her.
The other thing about Blanchfield is that I noticed she only absorbs 2 strikes a minute right now.
When you also have to keep in mind,
which is not going to happen with Andrade. Like, she's going to fucking put more strikes on her.
Andrade is taking this fight on 7 days' notice.
Yeah.
So is she ready? She just got out of that. I mean, it's very one-sided fight against Murphy.
Yeah.
But she just had a fight. So I mean, it could be an issue. It could. Maybe she's not prepared.
I'm going to go Andrade by decision.
I'm going Blanchfield. Decision or sub?
I think decision.
Yeah.
Andrade by decision.
You're going Andrade?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a close one. It's going to be. I think it'll be even a close judge decision. Nothing unanimous. Maybe a split or something.
Yeah. I mean, I could also even see.
And this is going to be a 5-round, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fun.
And that's another thing I wanted to bring up. Andrade got more experience in 5 rounds.
Much more 5 rounds.
Sure, but she
was with.
She also just had that fight, so I mean, I don't know. Is she gonna be tired? Like, you just had a fight. What?
I think she'll be alright.
Maybe a month ago.
Who?
Not even. It was a few weeks ago.
Yeah, Andrade.
Oh yeah,
2-3 weeks
Lauren
ago.
Murphy. Yeah.
Lauren Murphy.
But she looked good.
We were just talking about how they should have thrown in the towel.
Yeah.
Like, bro.
She's still fresh from that.
What was that, episode 2? So that was like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 3 weeks ago.
I think that was 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's interesting. There's a lot of factors that come into play here. I like the young gun. I do.
Yeah.
So, We'll see what happens this Saturday. But more importantly, let's go over this recap, right? I mean, let's start it off with the light heavyweight bout, right? Jimmy Crute, right? Jimmy Crute versus Alonzo Menifield. I mean,
this one hurt me to watch.
I don't know how I feel about this. I'm pretty sure Jimmy Crute died at least one time in that.
3 times, dude. Died and came back to
I
Earth.
mean, that kid, he has heart.
My life flashed before my eyes.
So tough. So tough.
I'm not. No, he's
so tough. And then we mentioned that he fucking took down Anthony Smith on a broken foot. The motherfucker does this, something as a similar toughness with this fight, man.
He got knocked out and just kind of held on to him.
There was a few instances where I felt like that happened, man, where he got just fucking
end of the first
clocked and just looked like he was kind of out on his
end
feet,
of the
but
first.
just hanging in, you know.
When I saw that fight, the first thing that came to my mind is, in order for you to put that guy away, you had to knock him out with one punch, and he has to be very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he fought Jamal Hill, the only I see that fight. Okay, I can see why he beat him. Got him. Let's get that guy away. You know, get him out of there as soon as possible. You know, one punch.
I think it's either one punch or breaking something, because I don't see this guy ever submitting.
I actually think you have to barrage him. I'm not sure if anybody can one punch him if Alonzo Menifield can't.
That's true too. Well,
you know?
I mean Jamal Hill.
Because Alonzo comes in there with 1, maybe 2.
Now,
let's
let's point out something very on the fight. One thing that we have to point out is the game plan that Jimmy Crute implements in the first round. He went straight, put pressure on him, against the cage and making him work.
Yeah.
That took away some of the power too. That could be one of the reasons why he didn't put him away right away.
For sure.
They
were both exhausted.
Yeah.
They were so exhausted.
They were gone, yeah.
Especially in the later rounds, absolutely. That was just absolutely insane.
Menifield ground game was great. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it was true.
There was a couple moments in the fight where he had him. He was going
on bottom position. He held his own.
Yeah,
he did.
He did really good.
I'm a big fan of Alonzo, man. I'm a big fan.
I am too. But honestly,
he's funny and he's great.
I think Crute won me over.
Me too, man. Crute's a fucking G.
I mean, just because of the way that he took all of that punishment, it was bad, man.
Yeah,
I don't even understand it. It doesn't even make any sense to me. I thought we watched somebody get murdered. Because in the first round, when he went down, it looked like he just kind of dropped like a sack of potatoes.
I know. I was yelling at my TV because I thought we had all called it. I was like, "There it is, R1 KO!" Yeah,
I'm like, that's it right there.
I mean,
there it is. And then he gets up, and I'm like,
I know. I was like,
Mark, let him get up,
dude. Shout out to Mark Goddard for calling that fight correctly. By the way, Mark Goddard fucking was a G in that fight. He took the point like a G.
Yeah, he did.
And he never called the fight, no matter how fucked up Jimmy Crute looked, which was a good decision, man.
Honestly,
one of the best refereeing I've seen, man.
Now the question is,
it was definitely loose.
If it wouldn't be for that point,
he made the right decision.
Yeah. The question is, if it wouldn't be for that point that was taken out,
Alonzo would have won.
Sure, that he would have won.
He would have.
Yeah, absolutely.
He would have, because he won. One of the judges had it 29-27 anyways, with Alonzo, and the other two were 28-28. So he would have won without that point deduction.
Yeah.
He would have been 30-27, 29-28, 29-28. But it was a good point deduction because it was a meaningful moment in the fight, and he was about to get taken down again.
Yeah.
So I'm totally for that point deduction.
I think
they should be doing that every fucking time.
Sure.
Quit it with the 5 warnings,
Well, I mean, I think that's the problem, right? The 5 right there.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
I was kind of surprised because there wasn't any warning. You were like, nope, point taken out.
It was because he stopped a takedown.
And it was in the third in a close fight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, he stopped a takedown by
So Mark understood that
that
could actually be a focal point, a turning point.
And they talked about it during the fight too. They were like, "Well, that's exactly how you do it because it is a turning point. It is something that will cost a fight.
Yeah,
a takedown will cost a takedown will sometimes cost a fight.
In that fight, I think it was absolutely going to cost him.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
He probably would have gotten.
So I think it was a great call by Mark Goddard. I think Mark Goddard's a great referee anyways. So.
Yeah, I mean, again, I thought the guy died in the first round. So I mean, I think it's a little bit difficult for me to sit there and be like, "How? No, you did good by not calling that."
Well, I think they're gonna run it back, which will be fun too.
I think they have to.
That's what they said after the.
Yeah.
Fight.
They did both agree on it verbally, but
Sign me up. I'm willing to watch it.
I'm watching it for
course,
sure. I'm
dude.
watching it.
They should, if they're smart,
Main event.
based on that, they should make it like a fight night. You know,
It should be a 5-round fight night, main event. It.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. I'd watch it for sure. That could be
I would watch that. I mean, I get it. It's light heavyweight, but
fucking Alonzo should be ranked, dude.
honestly,
But
you should.
the thing is, like, every time they do like a fight night, it's for people that are close to the title. Which, have you noticed in that?
Yeah.
Like, so when they do like main event fight night,
It's
so
like-
I
it's
think
like-
they have to, get a couple wins in order for them to headline.
Maybe a co-main then.
Yeah,
Right.
co-main, maybe. Yeah.
Could be. Could happen. I wouldn't be mad at it. I would watch it.
I would watch it either way. I don't
Dude,
care
thought
if
it was
it's.
a tremendous fight. That got me off my seat. That fight.
I mean, I think everybody was out of their seat.
I was yelling at the screen and everything. But I was also just really wanting Minifield to win because I like him. I like Jimmy Drew too, but I think Alonzo's hilarious. He always looks so bored, dude. It's fucking hilarious.
It's true.
He always
does.
bored.
He does look bored.
His eyes always say that he's tired, dude. He's in there like he's like in the office or something.
It's more because he probably just smoked a blunt. Or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He always has this blasé look on his face, man. It's fucking funny. And then when he talks on the mic, he's funny too.
Yeah, he looked kind of like he was like, oh.
I think it's just him trying to stay calm, but it looks funny.
I just wish he would have won that.
Yeah, he really did win.
I mean,
I feel like he did.
He really did.
You
win.
dropped the guy like 4 or 5 times. I think
It was a fence grab, bro.
Yeah, I think it was that. Hey,
that's absolutely what it did.
Yeah.
What-
one point you could see one mistake and cost you
anything,
Yeah,
Talking about one
everything.
mistake. How about Parker Porter, huh?
bro.
I mean, I don't.
Look, I am disowning this guy.
Fucking idiot, dude. My God.
He is not from Connecticut.
And I think you were saying that in the last episode, right?
Yeah, I thought
You say
he goes forward, he swings with the hooks, dude.
Yeah.
Leaves your face wide open, man. Against Justin Taffa, can't do that.
Not against Justin Taffa. And
Can't do that.
Taffa looked crisp.
If you're gonna put the pressure on for Justin Taffa, do it with jabs and straights. Don't wing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Don't
is it
fucking
really
yeah.
much to talk about this fight? I feel like this fight ended like in 10 seconds, bro.
Yeah, he did the wrong thing, dude.
A minute 6, bro. A minute 6.
I think he thought he could eat the punch because Parker Porter has eaten punches before, right? But this man's different.
Taffa
You know?
is not somebody that you want to.
This man's different.
Take-
Almost remind me of Mark Hunt right there.
Yeah.
You know, one punch.
Well, you were saying that too. You were saying that in the last episode.
Yeah.
I mean, he's built just like him.
He's built. He just needs to be more technical and.
I mean, do you have to be technical when you have that power?
Sometimes
That was some bad.
you know, when
power, bro.
you have to be like if you fight a guy against like
I think if you're I mean, I think it's yeah. You're
if
right.
you fight
Depending on who
someone
you
like Gone, you have to be technical.
that's
Yeah,
top
of
of the top, though,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
Top of the top.
or I mean, I'd even say Almeida for him. He would have to be technical, just because he's was it Almeida?
Yeah, Jelton Almeida.
Yeah, Jelton Almeida. Just because he's changing the game of the heavyweights. Jelton Almeida
That's
is
great, man.
he's bringing it into a grapple game. And
Parker, man, I just feel like, oh my God, he just does what he always does. He didn't like adjust at all for the
there
fight.
was no adjustment. There was no. I don't even know if there was a
And
plan
I was
on
like,
this.
dude, if you're gonna do that, that's like a shitty fucking way to fight Justin Taffa, man. To go in there with wings.
Sure. Yeah.
Why he
that's-
didn't use leg kicks?
Exactly.
He should have. He should have.
Why didn't he back him up against the wall slowly or with
The
jabs,
way
right?
you throw down a tree is
Try to
you
take him
kick,
down.
you know, the foundations, you know, kick, slow him down a little bit, and then just
Well, he's not.
It's a dangerous game to run in on the power guys.
That's a problem.
You know, it's a dangerous game to run in without protection.
It's a
on the
gamble.
Power guys.
It's a gamble every time. So
It's a gamble. You gotta do a little more cerebral, more smart than what the fuck he did. You know.
more
yeah.
smart.
Hopefully he will learn this.
Yeah, I mean, shit.
He has to.
I think he just had to.
I don't know if he's gonna get that chance again. I mean, he'll get another fight, but I don't know if you're gonna ever get Justin Taffa again.
No,
Tafa's going to take off at this point. Yeah, I think he's going to end up having a run. So, I mean, I don't know.
Interesting to see what they give him.
It would be interesting to see. And I don't know.
I don't really know where his ceiling is. I don't think he's like tremendous.
No, but
honestly.
I definitely think he has power.
He
I mean,
fucking has power.
I
Yeah.
definitely think he has power.
I mean, he also has some technique, man, because he didn't punch Henry Hunsucker out. He high kicked him.
Yeah.
See
Yeah.
that?
What was that?
We
It was
forget
like
that.
it wasn't even a kick. It was like a thigh.
No,
It was like a shin or the knee.
Oh, yeah,
is where it landed.
He fucking dropped
And
it
it was
with a high
just-
kick. Yeah, which
it
you wouldn't
was-
expect from a big guy like
No.
that. Yeah,
And he only covered up with one hand, and it was just
went right through his guard. Yeah,
he got flattened against the cage.
yeah.
So I mean,
he's not all punches. Is my point.
No, he's not. But
He's not all punches.
But at that point, he was smothering him too.
Mm-hmm.
He had already controlled it. He got him up against the cage, and he just started
I
riding
didn't see
him
it
with.
coming.
Yeah, no, you're not expecting a high kick from a big guy.
Well, like anybody with like real.
The
technical-
most deadly head kick in the heavyweight division, I think, was when Gabriel Gonzaga fought Mirko Crocco.
Yeah, yeah.
That was being
that
highlights
yeah.
for decades. You
Yeah.
know, like that was one of the craziest kick I ever seen in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, I don't know if Tafa's gonna ever beat like the top tier guys with more technical and skill than him because he's not really that guy.
Yeah.
You know, or like a point fighter like Gon. That's not gonna work for him. You know, but he might get like, what is he now? Is he a rank? No, he could be in the rankings. I guess like 15, 14, some shit outside top 10.
I mean,
This is heavyweight we're talking about.
you're going with Ivanov is 15.
Yeah, he could fuck that guy up.
He
could.
He could take out Chris Dawkins. You know
Yeah,
what?
that's an interesting fight actually.
Let's see Derek Lewis. I'm okay.
Yeah, that'd be
I'm
fun,
okay
too.
with Tafa versus Lewis.
That'd be fun.
Look, we
That's a
have
big
to bring
step
him up
up, though,
anyway,
man.
right?
Yeah,
We
but
have-
I don't think.
man.
It is, but I mean, Derek Lewis has been taking big steps down. So
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's that big of a step
Would
up.
he want that?
No, I don't think.
No.
I don't
Yeah,
think
probably not. Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna put Derek Lewis against.
No. What about like 14, 15?
I think no.
Probably like
14
12 or
14's
13.
Almeida.
But at
14's
this
Almeida.
point, man, we don't know. Because remember, they like the rankings, is based on who you're gonna fight. You know, they're gonna fight someone that has a name, and Derek Lewis, he has a name in the heavyweight division.
Right.
That's why I think you go
So
Derek Lewis or Dawkins.
That would be fun too.
That would be your next step for Tafa,
I think that'd be a fun fight.
Because I mean, 14's Almeida, and that's just
I don't think you should have
14 needs to go.
Yeah.
He needs to fight somebody in the top 5. To be honest with you, Joe and Almeida
Yeah,
needs to
there's
fight
still
somebody in the
more.
top 5. But I don't know. I think that would be the only thing that you do is Tafa versus Lewis or
fun
Dawkins.
KO though. That one got me excited too, of course.
That was fun. Yeah, man. Well, and that was the thing. You had that one end up in the first, and then you had, Jack Della Maddalena
I
versus
know.
Randy Brown.
Looked fantastic again, man.
This was fun.
I called this.
You did.
I
Shut
just tell you guys that I see something in this guy.
No, you're right. He's
You're
honestly
right.
fucking great.
You're right.
You know,
I mean,
I
I'm
just
not
thought I thought the reach was going to be a problem for
I
him, and
thought-
it kind of was until he just closed it, and
Until
that was
he-
it.
until
The
he
one
stopped.
time he closed the gap, that's all it took.
No.
and that
He
was
just
the
did it
problem.
one time.
And now people know,
And he
right?
only caught Randy once, really.
Now they know,
Yeah.
and that's a problem.
The power is real, guys.
Because like the first how long did it go? Like 3 minutes? 3 minutes.
Yeah.
So the first like couple minutes or whatever, Randy was just kind of jabbing him from the outside.
Yeah,
And
he was
then
keeping
the
the
minute he
distance.
got pushed up against the fence,
Talk
That
to
was
him
it.
a little bit.
over.
that was
over.
it. Yeah.
Couldn't deal with it.
Once he got clipped with that right, somewhere like, I don't know, somewhere on his like jaw or something.
Yeah,
No.
He got the chicken legs and fell on his face. Right?
that's what it was.
And then the submission, what was it, rear naked choke?
It was a real
Rear
naked
naked.
choke, yeah.
And I mean, that's his problem in the first place.
So
right?
does Jack
Right.
Della Maddalena have power of Thor, or does everybody else have glass chins? I guess he has the power of Thor.
Yeah, he has a power, man.
Yeah.
Now the question is, do you see him in the future going top 10? What do you guys think?
There's so many there's so many questions with him still, dude. It's like we still haven't seen much of him because everything's around 1 KOs with him.
Yeah.
You know? Like, I don't know how well-rounded he is still. I just know he can clap a guy.
So the question is,
You know what I mean?
which guy do you think he should test against?
Go Neil
Let's look at the
Magny.
rankings.
Let's go Neil
Magny?
Magny. He's he's ranked 12.
Welterweight? He's a welterweight?
Yeah, welterweight.
Madalena is now 14.
Oh, he's 14.
Neil Magny's 12. I think that would be a decent one.
I agree. Neil Magny would be good.
I think that's a good step up, right?
Neil Magny would probably take the fight too, and he's a super tactical
He would
guy.
absolutely take that fight.
Or if you think Jack will probably knock him out though. Maybe you go Jeff Neal,
I was thinking that too, but I also want to respect.
Sean Brady.
No,
Or not?
because I want to respect. I want to respect Rachmanov.
I think Neil Magny.
I don't want Rachmanov to fight. Well, I mean that could be a good
that
fight.
guy's so good though.
Rachmanov versus.
If you
Jack
want to
Della.
build Jack Della up, don't give him Shavkat yet, dude. Don't give him Shavkat.
I mean, I think
yet.
it would be very interesting, and I
No,
guarantee
that'll be suicidal.
you're gonna find out what
That's
happens
what I'm
after
saying,
the
That's
first.
too soon, man.
That's-
That guy's
I agree.
wrestling.
That's too
You'll
soon.
find
yeah.
out what happens after the first.
Shot. What?
Shavkat looks insanely good, man. I'm not giving him Jack Della.
So then I would even go Rachmanov versus Burns, and then do Jack Della versus maybe Sean Brady, maybe Sean Brady or Jeff Neal.
Yeah, I'm thinking Sean Brady, Jeff Neal, Neil Magny's not a bad one either. Yeah, that's what seems. Luque? Why not Luque?
Santiago Ponzinibbio is number.
He's not in there, is he?
Yeah, he's number 19.
Oh, that's.
How do you get
Jack
those
Magdalena. They
rankings?
got.
How do you get in those rankings?
Hold on, let me see.
Well, you're going top 20 or something.
Yeah, what's that website? I want to know those rankings.
I don't want to look at those. Those aren't ratings. Those aren't ratings.
I don't know if they got it
yeah,
right.
yeah. Ranking MMA, gotcha.
So he's number 20.
It definitely gives you more.
It's just a reference. I wouldn't mind seeing it.
Randy Brown. Man, that welterweight division is stacked, man.
Yeah, they're good, dude.
So I'd say either Kevin Holland or Santiago Ponzinibbio will be.
Is Kevin Holland not ranked?
He's number 20.
Really?
Yeah.
Kevin Holland would be a good fight too. Don't you think?
Another tall guy striking.
Santiago would be good. Li Jingliang would be good. No?
Yeah.
Michelle Pereira would be fun. Daniel Rodriguez. A lot of matchups you
Michelle,
can make with
man.
him, man. A lot of
Yeah.
matchups. You
Well,
know,
I mean,
you know
that's-
what though, man?
But that's the problem, right?
Because
I mean,
Neil Magny is number 15.
But at this
so-
point, no, Neil Magny's 12.
He's 12?
At this point,
Yeah,
Jack
I
Della,
like him.
Jack Della is going to be trying to go for a run, right? And you're not going backwards. Michelle is
No,
15.
You gotta go.
You want to go higher.
Of course.
So Kevin Holland, I take him out of there.
He's only one rank higher.
He's not even in the UFCs.
I know, but Randy Brown is 21 on ranking MMA at least. Kevin Holland's 20. It's not a big jump, of course. You know.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. I'd go Sean Brady or Jeff Neal. I think that's where I would go with Jack Della. And it's a great fight, I think.
A lot of fights. You'd probably just do whoever the fuck.
You
will
put him
take
in
it.
with Sean Brady, you're going to
Yeah.
find out what happens after the first round.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
Sean Brady.
Sean Brady will get out of the first round.
Yeah, I think the UFC, they're gonna be smart. They're not gonna put him there with. They're not gonna risk. You know,
Yeah,
they're gonna build him up.
I
So
agree.
they're gonna.
In which case, they would probably go with Neil Magny.
Yeah, honestly. And
They'd probably go Neil
probably take
Magny, and then they'd probably go Luque. You know, and then go
I
the
feel like
easy
they've seen
steps.
everybody Magny.
Now it could happen.
Magny is
He's a gatekeeper, dude. Yeah.
He's a gatekeeper for
He
sure.
really kind of
Yeah.
is.
Ponzinibbio, I think, will be the next.
I mean, but it's backwards. You wouldn't go backwards for that. Jack Della wouldn't take that fight. I wouldn't take that fight if I was 15 or 14. Because where's he? Where's Ponzinibbio?
Let's see.
Yeah, in the UFC rankings, you probably want to go up, of course.
Yeah, I'm going.
Well,
I go Neil Magny.
Jorge's already taken.
Yeah.
Probably want to avoid Shavkat. Yeah, I say Luque, Brady, Neal. One of those three. take your pick. I think Neil's fighting in the next pay-per-view.
I think Sean
So it's
Sean
probably going to
Brady.
be Sean Brady or Luke A.
Didn't Sean Brady just
Or
take
Magny.
He lost to
Bilal.
Yeah,
He
he-
KO'd by Bilal.
Yeah,
Right.
really bad.
but I feel like he has somebody else coming up right now.
I don't know.
Doesn't he? I feel like he has a fight coming up. I don't know. Don't care.
Perhaps.
We'll talk about it when it gets there.
Perhaps. I would like to see him taken down and wrestled a bit because we have seen
See what
zero
happens.
ground game. Yeah, from him so
Not
far.
entirely. I mean,
We saw him scramble well against Amir.
and that's it.
And
That's about it.
That's
Right.
it. Yep. And get out of an anaconda choke.
Super tight anaconda
Yeah.
joke.
Got out of that shit. You know.
That was kind of crazy. So, but I mean, it was a great fight. I didn't think it was going to happen that way. I thought it would at least get
What
out.
do we do with
first
Randy
round.
Brown now? That's the next question.
I mean, you got to start over, right?
Where is he at?
He's
21. Give him like Max Griffin or some shit.
or even Michelle.
Right? In the shell. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what you're going to get when you because that's two really like
He was
they're
on
in it for
a-
showmen, right?
He was on a win streak before Jack. So it's not like he's
So,
out of things.
yeah, no, give him Pereira and Pereira versus Brown. I think that's a very fun fight because both of them are
I would like to
very
see
creative.
Randy Brown versus Daniel Rodriguez.
That's a good one too.
Yeah.
That's a good one too.
So see them pick each other apart for a few rounds. That would be fun, right?
That would be an interesting fight.
That would be a fun one.
I think it would be.
I think Randy needs somebody like that he can utilize his strengths on, of course. Maybe another striker that would just kind of go back and forth with him.
Yeah, and in that case, Daniel's probably best.
Or
Probably.
maybe, yeah, I guess. Maybe you give him Kevin Holland. That'd be fun too.
That would be a fun fight too. Yeah.
Right?
I mean, they're both really tall. They're both
Mhm.
they're both really.
They'll
long.
both put on a show for you,
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's basically the same
They're
thing
both
as
going to
Pereira.
go for it, yeah.
Yeah, they're both gonna try. So I think it would be a very creative fight to make. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. Would not be mad at that at all.
That'd be fun.
So I didn't get that one right. I didn't get that one right at all.
Well, I didn't either. Yeah, we were taking
gotta-
a risk.
you
We
gotta
were taking
take-
a risk going against the hot, the
Sure.
hot prospect, man. We knew that.
Hometown hero. I mean,
Sometimes you gotta take risks.
Sometimes you gotta take risks, man.
Yeah.
Can't get them all.
Let's talk about Yair, huh? Yair Rodriguez and Josh Emmett.
Fucking destroyed him.
Those kicks to the body.
That hurt. Yeah. Like those leg kicks
Yeah.
were kind of insane, to be honest with you. Like every single one of them. Like you could hear it, you could see it, you could see the welts. It
Yeah.
was bad. And Josh Emmett was just getting picked apart with those kicks.
Yeah, the desperation. I could see the desperation on his part where he was.
Oh, he was swinging. He was
Yeah, he
swinging
was
for the
swinging.
fences every single time. Every time he was throwing a punch, it was everything he's got because he was
Yeah.
trying to do the knockout.
Yeah,
And that's your go-to, right?
yeah.
That's what you're known for. Josh Emmett is known for his knockout power, and I was expecting one of those to land. And
I mean, he connected.
he
shots.
connected
He did.
a couple of times, yeah.
Yeah.
But I was expecting it to land and like just demolish Rodriguez, and he just kind of took it like a champ.
Kind of ate it.
Yeah.
And like more power to him because he is the champ now, right?
Yeah.
It was the
Well,
interim.
interim, yeah.
And look at that, look, Yair got the performance of the night. So, so did Jack.
Yeah,
Dillon
he
got
looked
the
fucking
performance of the night.
incredible, man. Just overwhelmed Josh Emmett. I just feel like Josh Emmett had no answer for his
None.
for his diversity of his attack. Right,
And that's
Yeah.
what we were talking about.
kicks
And-
coming, all different angles.
Oh, that was
Elbows
bad.
coming, punches coming.
Even when he
anything.
had it on the ground, he was like, Jair was
doing
defending
this,
so well.
even Yellow was fucking elbowing him in the fucking head when he was on bottom position, man.
Yeah,
like
those-
hard. You know, I mean, that puts his whole body into it. You see that?
Yeah, it was like he was
Yeah.
just going hard.
Yeah. I mean, he was just, again, picking them apart. One
I
by
mean, if
one.
we get that version of Yair against Volk, it might actually be a good fight.
Even the commentators,
I'm not
they,
gonna pick him.
and
I'm
he
not gonna
wasn't.
pick him,
It'll
but-
be a very fun fight, but
One another thing,
No.
he wasn't trying to get up either. He was just trying to work for the submissions
Right.
in the bottom.
And it's the smart thing to do.
Yeah.
It was a very smart thing to do. Because I mean, it was bad for Josh Emmett. He was outclassed. He was out.
I thought he really played it well too. Because in the first round, he didn't do anything too reckless.
Mm-mm.
No, he
kinda
was just
got the kicks going and worked it from there.
Yeah,
right?
he was different
Yeah.
from what we were used to.
He didn't just kind of like, he didn't like 7 combo shit.
But I think that was probably the game plan because he knows Josh Emmett's got nukes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're not
Well,
trying
that's what
to
we were
beat-
hoping for when we were talking about this card before or
Right.
last spot. We were like, okay, please don't fucking just run at him, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. And he did.
use your mind, use your head.
He picked him apart beautifully, really.
Yeah, it was flawless, really.
Fucking work of art, man.
It was the perfect game plan, like
Yeah.
you said.
It really was. I'm impressed,
And he really was in trouble the minute those body kicks started landing at the rate that they were landing.
dude. And he was just trying to eat them, and I mean, I was full
But
after
if you eat
one.
body kicks, now your power is starting to deplenish. Right?
And that's why he was reaching. That's why he was
Yeah.
shooting for the moon every
Yeah.
single time because he wanted that. He wanted it to stop. I think that's what it was. He's just like, I'm just done here. I just want to throw it against the wall and just explode on your head and just
And that was
just
his
knock
only
him out.
chance. That was his only chance.
It really was, especially when it was getting further into the rounds. I mean, it was bad. Josh Emmett, more power to you, man. But
I think he's reached his peak.
I think so. I don't see him being a champ.
Nah, me either. Never really did.
I mean, it was a good one though. It was a good one, but dude, Yair just picked him apart. It was fun.
Yeah.
Now we're
Yeah.
gonna see Yair go for the title.
What's
you
next?
will.
What's next for? Yeah, I guess title for Yair.
Yeah.
What's next for Josh Emmett?
Just keep they
Like, what do you put him against?
what's the ranking on the featherweight?
He's 5.
He's number 5.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still out there. So
He already fought Cater.
I don't-
Giga. How about Giga Chikatsu?
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna give him Giga, and then see what he does, because I think, like you said, I think Josh Emmett is done. I think he's topped. Right? He's not getting any further.
I don't think he can beat Arnold Allen or Max Holloway.
No, now you want to shake it up a little bit.
have he fought Brian Ortega?
That was the other one I was thinking. Can he beat Brian Ortega? That's a maybe.
That's a maybe.
For me. That's
I mean,
a
that's
maybe.
it's a lot.
And
of,
there's Tuporia. Ooh,
Oh yeah.
what do you guys think?
I like
Tuporia.
Giga better.
Dude.
I like Giga better. I mean,
Where is
the
Topuria?
right underneath. He's 9.
Oh, he is,
right
look at
underneath
that.
Giga. So,
Wow, I didn't realize he was so highly ranked already. Ilya's
yeah,
sick,
I mean,
huh?
he's
Well, he
definitely.
beat Bryce Mitchell. Makes sense. Fucked him up, really.
Yeah, Bryce was on
Fucked up
the
Bryce
board.
Mitchell, too.
Right, he was on a tear. Bryce
Yeah.
Mitchell was on the tear, and then it just kind of.
No, Ilya's sick.
I don't know, man.
I don't know, man. If you really want to end Josh Emmett's career, you can give him Ilya. But I think
Oh my god.
if you really want to make him fall as far as possible, Ilya looks fantastic, man. I think
That's
Ilya
why I'm
could be
saying
top
give
5.
him Giga. Like, give Giga a push. I mean,
Dude,
Toporia's
you think
going
he'd
to
win?
get there.
You think he'd win that fight?
Who?
Giga?
Yeah. I think
And yeah, Tuporia will get there because not only he got nuclear bombs on his hands, he got his jiu-jitsu is top.
Yep.
So he can do, yeah.
Dude, I think Ilya's going to be challenging for championships.
Yeah.
Oh,
you
for
imagine
sure
a
he is.
fight.
Yeah.
You imagine a fight between him and Arnold.
That'd be fun, man.
Oof.
Oh, that'd be fun.
That
Yeah.
would be an interesting fight.
I mean, if you want to build up Ilya, go ahead and give him Josh Emmett. That'll be fun for him.
But that's the thing, right? I mean, you don't want to kill somebody.
But he wouldn't kill him. But he would win. I think he'd win. He could kill him. That's for sure.
It's not.
But I think him versus Giga would be a fun match.
I think Giga wins that just because of the
Why is
kickboxing.
Korean Zombie on this list when he said he retired? Am I right?
Yeah,
I mean, it's
rankings
UFC.
sometimes-
They're
They're interns and fucking update the rankings ever since he retired like a year ago now.
Was it a year ago? No.
Volk versus Korean Zombie was a long time ago, dude.
That was sad to watch.
That was sad to watch, but that was like a half year ago at the least, right? When was that?
Let me see it. I
April
think
9th, 2022. That was a year ago.
Almost a year ago.
2
man.
months. In 2 months, it'll be a year.
Yeah. And yet
So,
here
yeah.
he is, number 6 still.
I
I guess
mean,
he never formally retired or something.
maybe.
Yo, they have Connor on the rankings too. So
Yeah,
I wouldn't
I
be
know.
surprised.
Well, he's coming back, bro. He's coming back.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It's the third coming of Conor McGregor. Oh man, yeah. So Yair versus Volkanovski, which will be a fire fight. If we get the Yair from this fight, that's gonna be a competition
Volk will win
for sure.
because grappling.
Yeah, I'm not putting that. I'm not picking Yair.
Nah.
You know, as much as I would love to,
The wrestling.
you're not going to be able to do it against.
Too much.
Yeah.
And he's smart on the. Don't forget his striking. Alexander Volkanovski's striking is.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's talk about it, shall we?
Yeah.
Islam Makhachev versus Alexander Volkanovski. First off, fuck both of y'all. Because y'all
Why?
thought he was going to get ragdolled. You thought he was going to
No. Wait a minute.
What?
Wait a minute. I say decision. And remember, it's all right there on the episode.
Mm-hmm.
I say he will win, but it's not like he's going to.
All right. Well then, Evan, fuck you. Because you said he was going to be ragdolled.
Yeah, Alex is smaller.
I mean, sure.
He went up to his weight class. I thought I'd just fucking take him down and do his thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was...
He does it against guys his own size. Why not Volk? But Volk is a fucking G.
Volk
of
is
course.
different,
Yeah.
man.
Volk
is
is
different.
an animal.
He
You know,
is
one
an
of the
animal.
things I don't know if you
We all
guys
know that
heard
now.
on the like when he was his corner, they would say how strong is it? Like he's not strong at all. He would just say like, oh,
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He was like,
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be stronger.
Mm.
yeah.
Like, he's not as strong as I thought he was going to be.
Mm.
And, I mean, could it be because of the IV? I don't know. And that's a question, too. Like, is there an IV? Was there an IV used?
Now, let's go to the fight first.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about the fight first.
Then we can go to
Do you agree with it?
What?
Do you agree with the fight?
Absolutely, I agree. With the decision.
I think it could have gone either way. I'm not mad because Islam won because it's a championship fight and you know you have to win.
Which rounds would you give Volkanovski?
2, 3.
In my opinion, I will give
2
him.
and 3.
2,
Despite
3.
being outstruck and taken down. 2 and 3. Really.
I think he won 2 rounds. 2 rounds out
Yeah,
of.
maybe 5, of course.
Yeah, he
Right.
won 5 and.
Fuck 2, man.
Yeah. I give him 2 rounds out of.
Really, 2?
2 was close.
It was close, but he beat him in the categories.
I mean, the only category, according to the UFC, the only category that he beat him in was takedowns.
Right, and then everything else is exactly the same, so you gotta give him the round.
I think it.
Right? Like, how else do you do that, man?
I mean,
19 strikes each.
Well, at the same time, right? At the same
30
time,
total.
But this is
Yeah.
after the fact, and you already said today once before that
Mm.
these numbers have changed.
At least from what they posted in the post-fight shit on on TV.
And that's what's going to end up happening because
Yeah.
after you go through, you're going to have to rewatch it, and you're going to have to actually sit there and count every single punch and everything.
But
so
also,
it's
Volk was
different.
getting hurt more. Through 1 through 4, not 5, of course. Fuck 5. I know 5 he won.
Yes
for
and
sure.
no, because again, I mean, I think a lot
He
of the
reacted
strikes.
more.
Well, some of them. I think there were a lot more flinches going on with Islam. I think Islam was afraid of that power. I think there was a lot of fear in that, and that's why he wasn't doing a whole lot with the striking. He was trying to just go with the grapple, but it wasn't working out for
I
him.
thought he was countering beautifully.
The striking was working, but I had to give it to.
And I'm surprised he didn't.
Volkanovski on the feet.
I'm surprised Islam didn't do much takedown attempts.
Couldn't.
He couldn't. Yeah,
Good
you're
9.
right. He,
I would have 9, you know? It's like nothing.
But he got how many of those did he actually get? 4?
Four.
and one of the takedown that he got is because Volkanovski, he threw an overhand right.
Right. It
But it was
was
just-
a gimme.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
a gimme
round
basically.
1. Yeah.
So I mean, and that round 1 was close, but I would give that one.
And then round
that,
3,
that round 1.
he got Islam landing more strikes and a takedown. How do you give him round 3?
I have to go back and let's rewatch it
Yeah,
right now.
you could
You know what I
rewatch
mean? I mean but that's the thing. At the moment, in the moment when I was watching the fight,
Mhm.
I was seeing Volkanovski doing more damage. I was seeing
Yeah,
the
they
counters.
didn't see
I was seeing him getting right back up. I was seeing
that.
him.
He was definitely getting up. workhorse.
He was giving him problems on the ground, even when he had his back. What was that? Round 2, round 3? When he had was it 4? When he had
Volkanovski was yelling and just punching him
in the backwards. So he had his back, and he was just hammer fisting, backwards.
And one thing you have to point out is the wrist control. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of good wrist control.
You remember when he fought Ortega, the same thing.
Yeah.
That wrist control was really good.
And I think that's going to change a lot of things in the game. Like, there's always someone that implementing something really good. You know, grabbing those hands, I think it's a brilliant...
You're getting rid of all their tools.
Yeah.
You got 10 fingers that you can use to like...
Yeah, he knows, like, he doesn't make any stupid decisions ever.
No.
A lot of guys will, like, avoid the hand fighting to start to do damage or something, or, like, get distracted by something else. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
Volkanovski's right on the hands the whole fucking time.
And it's the smart way to do it.
And he's great with it, too.
As long as you're pulling those... If you're releasing that pressure, you're not in trouble.
Yeah.
And that was my biggest thing, too. That, like, when he was on the ground, it was always hand control, that wrist control. He wasn't really in trouble at all when he was on the ground. I didn't see a whole lot of trouble for him.
Yeah, he's very calm. Like,
that's the other thing.
Calm, like, very calm. Like you said, certain guys, they would just get freaked out and, just start making
He's been there.
poor decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And to get out of a position like that against Ortega, you're a beast. You have to be...
Absolutely, he's a beast.
Yeah, he's a beast.
I mean, to do it against Islam, you're a beast.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's the same thing because I mean, we've seen Islam ragdoll other guys, right? I mean, he does it.
Yeah.
But the fact that you were able to go in there and you were the smaller guy still, right? 100%, he was still the smaller guy, but he made it a competition.
Oh, for sure. It was a very close fight, for sure.
It was
these things about robbery and shit, get the fuck out of here.
I don't know if I would say robbery. Robbery isn't the word that I would use.
That's what people online are saying, though.
I'm not online, so...
Everyone just likes Volkanovski more, that's what it is.
Well,
really, though, how could you say that's a robbery, man? It's like one of the closest fights there is.
So when I was...
it's the same thing. Like, fans that are casual, that they let their emotions get the better of them. Mm-hmm. So... They don't really look at the fight closing. Like I said, it could have go either way.
And people don't like wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but I was listening to the Joe Rogan.
He thought that he won.
I was listening to like them announcing it, and then because he did a fight companion.
Yeah.
And who was there? Shab was there. And
right?
And Eddie Bravo was there.
And Sean was like, "Are we biased right now? Are we biased? I think we're biased."
Yes, they are.
And
I mean,
honestly, I
know?
could see me being biased on that in that whole thing because I mean, like, everybody thought he was going to be dominated in the first.
Dude, I was super impressed by Islam's striking, man.
I say it again. He's striking
tit for tat with Volkanovski striking, man, and he actually had some fucking beautiful counters, dude.
He did have some good.
There's one point where he kneed him in the head, dude, when the timing was amazing. You know.
No. I mean, at the same time, I just think I still thought Volkanovski pieced him up on the top on the feet.
No way.
One thing I have to say is, if it would be Khabib fighting Volka, I think he would have taken him. Because the one thing that's like. Islam striking.
Yeah.
That was because the takedown wasn't working. So if it wouldn't be for the striking, I think he would have lost that fight. So you imagine if it would be a beef fighting Volka?
I agree. Like it's almost like the grappling part of it wasn't even that much of like a damaging thing for him in that fight. You know what I mean? It was just like a deciding factor when it comes to rounds. But he didn't do much damage with it or nothing like that. Really, what kept him in the fight was the fact that he was able to counter Volkanovski and actually hang with him on the feet, man. Yeah. And every single one of these rounds, except for number 5, he matched his output.
His striking is good.
Round 1, 10 of 16 to 11. 19 to 19, round 2. 16 to 14, round 3. Actually won that round in strikes. Round 4, 4 to 6. He took him down immediately. Remember that shit? Yeah. And then, I'm talking signature strikes, by the way. And in round 5, 8 to 20. Volkanovski obviously beats him up in round 5, right? But the first 4 rounds, dude, fucking won the striking, kinda. You know? If you want to go numbers anyways.
Sure, if you want to go
It's a prototype, a prototype.
But if you want to go damage too, I think you can argue that.
I think if you're going damage,
He rocked Volkanovski like 5 times. It seemed like to me. Am I wrong?
Yeah, he dropped him. I think it was in the first round, right? Where he hit him in the temple.
But there's other times where he made him stumble back on a strike. He kneed him in the head.
I think, in my opinion, here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think they both underestimate each other.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah,
that's what happened.
That's what we need to do.
Volkanovski underestimate Islam striking, and then Islam underestimate.
Yeah. We need to see it again. Yeah. We need to run it back and let them have an actual training camp and like not underestimate either of them.
Yeah, it's just a harder argument to argue Volkanovski to get 3 of these rounds, dude.
I mean, you can even look at 4 and 5. 4 and 5, Volkanovski
had him on the ground for 3 minutes, dude.
Sure.
You can't give him 4.
He had 49 strikes.
Dude, they're bullshit strikes.
But even at the same time, they were
making him flinch. This thing doesn't do anything.
They were making him flinch the entire time. He was trying to hide the entire time when he was doing that. I mean, yeah, sure, it was.
You're gonna give him that round over 3 minutes and 30 seconds of control time.
I mean, who's controlling whose wrists?
Well, his back is a dominant position. Are you really gonna argue that? He took his back for 3 minutes.
The reality
is,
I like Volkov. The reality is that Islam won.
Sure. So let's talk about that now too. So there's the controversy of him possibly cheating.
Oh, the IVs, yeah.
So let's talk about that. What happens?
Oof.
Are they going to actually do anything?
It's that's a serious accusation right there.
Big accusation.
It's a serious accusation. I mean, right now we're just speculating. We don't have any, of course, there's a picture right there, but we need to, once we heard from the commission and they do their investigation, then I can sit here and judge, okay, that was, but right now, it's like, okay, yeah, he had that. Mm-hmm. He did something, but we don't know what it is until we get, those results and whatever. But the question is, are they going to be able to prove that? Because the fight already happened. I don't know, are they going to do a test to him? I mean, is that still on your system? The IV? I don't know much about it. All I know is that it's supposed that give you, an advantage when it comes to hydrate yourself, after a hard wake up. So I don't know. What you guys think?
Bobby Green. Remember Bobby Green?
Of course I know Bobby.
So he was talking about imagine if you gave somebody steroids from the age of 10, 12, 13, how strong would you be? Mm-hmm. He was talking about Islam. Mm-hmm. Islam got accused of steroids back in 2016. He was
Is that right?
Yeah, he was under suspension. They ended up after a hearing on July 2nd, 2016. USADA cleared Islam Makhachev and his suspension was revoked. Russian tennis star Maria Sharapova, like her Dagestani counterpart, was banned from competing for 2 years after testing positive for performance-enhancing substance meldonium. It's something that they do over in Russia. is what I'm understanding here. It's like, hey, instead of getting your Kool-Aid, go get your fucking steroids.
Reminds me of fucking Icarus.
No, it makes total sense because
when the whole Olympic Russian wrestling
got
suspended for using, they're doing it for a while, and they found out
for
a while that they're all doping.
It's all the same thing.
Icarus, that was on Netflix or whatever.
At this point, they just give everybody steroids so that way they can be even fighting.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Because what if you don't want your balls to shrink? You know what I mean? It's not fair to those guys. Seriously, it's not fair to those guys.
Testosterone, maybe testosterone replacement.
Because if I was a fighter, I don't want to take steroids, man. I don't want to fucking freak out at my wife and have fucking a small ball sack, dude. It's not fair to me if I don't want to take it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Testosterone, man. Testosterone.
Yeah,
man. I think if he is cheating, bro, give him a fucking huge suspension, dude.
Well,
fuck that shit.
Sure, I agree. But, I mean, you have to think about at the same time, who's the one that accused him? Hangman, right?
The guy who fucking got destroyed by
Sure. But at the same time, Why would you say something like that if you don't
And
actually
you
have
have
proof?
you have to be ready for the precautions
There's
because
going
you
to be a
don't know.
defamation lawsuit if you.
Yeah, you could get a lawsuit. That's why you have to be careful.
And Volkanovski hinted at it too during his conversation with Ariel Helwani. So I mean, at that point, you have two people that you can go after for defamation. Why would you risk that if it's not true?
I mean,
I don't.
They could just be saying it off of speculation.
I saw something
Sure.
that they denied the accusations. One of his management, but
Well, yeah. Of
but
course they would.
if they would be so sure that they
It's-
would have put a lawsuit.
It's difficult to sit here and point a finger and say that they did it, and to think that they don't have a reason to think that way, right? I mean, they have to have some sort of a, whether it was somebody, because he even said, like during that interview with Ariel Helwani with Alexander Volkanovski, he went off camera and he was like, I kind of want to tell him, and he comes back in and he was like, looks over and gets the okay. He's like, I don't know, you fill up really quick with IVs and stuff. And then Ariel even asked him, he's like, what? Is that a thing he's doing? He's like, you hear whispers. What? Like, obviously at that point, somebody has said something, and now here we are, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now we're at a point where what happens next? Like, Islam and his crew are just saying that y'all are just salty. Sure, they probably are.
They very well could be.
It's very possible, but I don't think you're going to sit here and risk millions of dollars.
But you know
point
the
because
one
you're
thing too that you have to consider is if you get accused one or two, it's probably fine. But when you get different sources,
Yeah.
and they start to talk about, now you have to be like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah,
Listen,
but don't you think it could be? Don't you think that it would be more apt to happen to somebody who's as Russian as Islam? I feel like it's easier to go after those guys and accuse them.
Why? Because
Because they're
there's a
Russian.
track record?
Because they're Russian. You know what I mean? I think it's so. I think these guys like.
Not
I
necessarily.
don't know if it's true or not, obviously, but I think these guys like already have it in their head maybe that he's cheating, and then any little evidence they're just gonna like hop on. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I don't know
And
that for sure. Of course, be a fucking cheater, right?
Right.
But I think him being Russian has a bit of a part
I'm
of this.
sure.
You know
I'm
what I mean?
sure.
I think we're all stereotyping a little bit.
But again,
You know?
I mean, it comes back down to back in 2016. You popped. You got a drug test and you got popped for meldonium, and then during a whole trial or whatever, it came out that, and they dropped it because it wasn't like you were negligent. You didn't know anything about it. Like you honestly, somebody slipped it to you. Like, first off, what? And second off is somebody was saying that I watched something earlier today, and they were saying, well, maybe he just falls back on that too. Maybe he fell asleep or something, and his coach just stuck him in the arm with an IV.
Wow, what a
Maybe,
coincidence!
But that's kind of crazy,
Yeah.
if you ask me. But I mean, it's absolutely insane. But I mean, how many times? Well, you got popped back in 2016.
Now this is interesting.
There's also talk about it now.
Did you guys see this? Islam's manager said that it was because of a blood test the night before from USADA, and you can ask USADA themselves.
That's interesting. Has anybody asked USADA?
I don't know.
Now I read another thing. Like if you get permission, you can do it. Like
No.
if you get some kind of permission,
No.
I read something like that. Maybe I'm wrong, but I read something where, if you require you to do it,
Yes.
if
Yeah.
some medical stuff.
7 hours ago, Rizvan Magomedov, his manager apparently, mandatory blood test by AUS Commission, or not USADA, but AUS Commission, Wednesday morning right before media and photo shoot. Ask Hooker, find the nurse with commission, she can confirm.
That's interesting.
Everyone's so sure, you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, at the same time, why wouldn't USA? Why wouldn't they come out and just say something? USADA. USADA rules stipulate that
No,
intravenous.
it's the OS Commission, he says, not USADA.
Oh, didn't you just say you can ask them themselves?
Yeah, OS Commission, though.
Oh,
Mandatory blood test, not by USADA, by the Australian Commission.
is that?
Different thing, I don't know they could do that. right? I know the commission's testing too. Like, what the fuck even is that?
Why is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they just
I
gave
don't
COVID.
know. We don't know behind the scenes shit enough, I guess. But
So-
I guess
So
each
here's-
country got their own rules.
Here's your IV.
Yeah.
Here's your rules for the IV. USADA rules stipulate that intravenous infusions and injections are prohibited both in competition and out of competition if the volume of the substance exceeds 100 milliliters within a 12-hour period. The ruling stands regardless of the legality of the substance. The focus on the prohibition is the method of intake and volume. However, if an athlete requires an IV, a therapeutic use exemption allows them to not only make use of the method of intake but also exceed the limit. The exemption can further be expanded to include banned substances by applying for 2 TUEs, one for the prohibited substance and one for the excess volume. IVs are prohibited because they enhance performance and help an athlete by increasing plasma levels and aiding recovery and recuperation.
did you know
That
Costa
doesn't make
did
any
this?
sense. So it's prohibited, but it's, if I be like, okay, can I use it? And they'll be like, yeah, you can
You know,
use
Costa did this. I'm reading now.
Paulo?
The last UFC fighter to be sanctioned for using an IV was middleweight Paulo fucking Costa,
That's
who was
believable.
suspended for 6 months for the prohibited use of an infusion twice in 2017.
Wow.
He was facing a 2-year ban, but he was able to get it down after providing substantial assistance to USADA.
Huh.
That's what they said.
it. Interesting.
Costa would be that guy.
The juice. I got the juice.
Yeah, I got the juice. No. It's not what you think. Yeah. It is all in the juice.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
I mean, I guess I want to know how common this is happening. If it's only Islam, then yeah, man, give him a fucking huge suspension, man. If it is true, because I don't fuck with that shit, man. You know.
Well, if it's a mandatory blood test by the Oz Commission, then why is he the only one that had to
Do it.
Like yeah.
Because he's Russian, dude. That's why.
That's a good point right there. That's
Why
a
was
good
he
point.
the only one that had a mark on his arm?
That's a
one
good point.
is from Australia, and the other one is from Russia.
But if it's mandatory, then I mean, there's no exemptions, right?
it's
I mean,
probably random, just like anything else.
Yeah, but how many fighters? That's the thing, man. That's kind of weird, yeah.
It is weird. I agree, but
You know, I mean, hopefully in the next few days we will have something, you know, that we can. Because right now it's just a lot of questions, you know. Like, we don't know.
yeah.
It's
I
kinda
mean,
hard.
they have to launch the full investigation, right? I feel like they would have to at this point, because now you have 2 different parties saying, well, and also because this came out, what, 2 days ago? It came out the fight night,
Well, the thing I'm reading about his manager 7 hours ago.
right? But that's
It
what I
hit the
mean.
news, like,
But
yeah.
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
It's like
super
Dan
recent.
Hooker came out like the night of the fight
Yeah.
and was like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And then since then, Islam had already done a response video, and his manager was in the background. Like his whole team was in the background, and they were doing the Aussie Aussie Oi Oi thing. And like he's like, "Man, you're just salty, bro. Like, why didn't you just say it then?" Like, "Oh no, it was a mandatory blood test." Like, it's all speculation, right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's a horrible manager. Like, squash it when it happens, not let the fire burn for a little bit and then come at him 3 days later.
Yeah, that's, you know, that's a lot of stuff going on. So,
Yeah, it's a lot
you know,
of he said, she
hopefully,
said.
hopefully in the next, we will find something. You know, we will.
I'm sure,
We will get something because now this, once a news like this hit the media, they're not gonna leave it alone.
Oh, no. And the
Yeah.
fact that both of them, Volkanovski and Hooker, both said it, right? They both hinted at it.
And always the media, like every time they have like a UFC press conference, they're always gonna come up with the same question. You know, what about Islam? You know, that text. You know, there's a controversy. So
Well, and then at that point, if USADA does a full scale investigation, right, and they find out that he is, does that do anything for Habib?
For
Like,
what?
does that change anything about Habib?
You gotta look at him a little different, I think.
you have to go back and then.
Yeah.
But I don't think like
You have to
I
think
never
about it.
remember
Okay.
him.
Like at that point, are you going to like question everything that comes out of Dagestan now?
No, you don't even.
Or are you gonna be like
Or
Nate
just that
Diaz?
team, or just
Nate
that
Diaz.
team.
Everybody's on steroids.
Yeah, right.
I mean, Sure, I don't know what they put in my cannabis. You know what I mean? I could be smoking anything.
No, I mean I don't think everyone from Dagestan's doing that.
No, I mean.
I don't think so.
Well, we've already discussed, right, that it's a different type of strength that comes out of there.
Yeah.
And we joke about, like, it's ancestral, but maybe it's just steroids. You know what I mean?
Nah, it's training and technique and
Sure.
dedication.
Steroids help, though.
Yeah, but so does doing 20 years of wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So does being born into that
Listen,
culture.
all I know is, like, a 5 to 7-year-old is not taking out a bear cub without steroids.
What if it didn't even help him because he couldn't take him down that well?
Now, one thing,
You know what I mean?
That's true.
So even if
One
he fucking
thing
did,
that,
it doesn't really matter in this fight.
his body. I was listening to the John McCarthy podcast with Josh Thompson, and he was saying, you know, it's funny how he always makes excuses for Islam, right? Like he said that his body looks kind of a little bit drained. Like,
Well, he dropped weight.
yeah, no, but it looks different. Where you know, in previous fight, he looked like fully hydrated.
Right,
But
right.
in this one, he looks a little bit different.
And that's
I
why
don't know.
that's why they're coming up with the IV thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that.
Don't
that
you notice?
was-
Like he looks.
He
you know,
definitely
he looks
looks-
big, but like he wasn't like.
At the time, I didn't notice.
Yeah, like.
But I
he's-
mean, at the same time, again, he had
Yeah.
to drop weight
But I'm not like
to make that.
I haven't watched all of. I'm not like super familiar with all of Islam's fights. You know, I wouldn't even make that. I don't think I'd notice that anyways. That he would look different from one fight to the next. You know.
Right.
No, it depends on the weight cut. Like
Well,
you know.
let's keep in mind, like it's not. We're not talking about steroids in this specific
No,
incident.
yeah.
This is just an IV,
Yeah.
right? And that's all that's supposed to do is to replenish you when you have a bad weight cut.
Yeah.
And Michael Bisping even said during the weigh-ins, he said, "Be prepared for Islam not to make weight because he had a really rough cut."
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, at that point, everybody was thinking that he was going to miss, but he came out, hit the weight fine. He didn't look
But
healthy.
like,
he didn't look healthy.
Here's my thing. Like, if you're such a big guy, same thing for Habib. They both have really difficult time making weight because they walk around like 190 pounds,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
195 pounds. So why not, you know, go to welterweight, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, you go to welterweight, you got, you know, good wrestlers, you know, strong people. Yeah, do you think they doing it because they think they have a huge advantage in the lightweight division, where there's only a few guys that has, you know, wrestling?
Yeah. It's like
I mean,
strikers division at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly. Yeah.
But it's still one of the most difficult division. But you know, it comes with a cost. You know, dropping
course.
all that weight.
Of course. Yeah.
So
My last thought on this is if they do some research and we find out that Islam is clean, then I'm going to hate on Volkanovski and Dan Hooker for being fucking sore loser fucks. You know what I mean?
Honestly,
'Cause that's not gracious and that's a shitty thing to do. It is, dude. And don't be so
You
fucking sure.
motherfuckers.
Dude, they're sore losers, man. They're sore losers if that's false.
I mean,
You
but
know?
at the same time, I don't blame
I mean, I
them for
don't-
pointing it out.
yeah, I mean, I don't think Volkanovski is making any excuses.
More Dan Hooker.
Yeah, I
For
mean,
sure,
I
it's
don't
more
think-
Dan Hooker
More
because
Dan Hooker.
I mean that
because at the end of the day, you know, he was
it's
he
not-
was the only one that gave Islam.
It's not a good
Trouble.
look, man. You look like a fucking idiot if you just start saying that shit after a loss and it's not true. You know?
I mean,
Yeah,
sure.
Don't you think?
yeah. I mean, you
Don't
know,
you think? Like,
I
it's
understand.
just gonna make Volk look like a dumbass, you know,
Well,
and a sore loser.
But the
and this
thing
and
is,
that, yeah.
Volk came out with it before the fight.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
came out
Hooker
before the
came
fight.
out-
He didn't
That's true,
say
that's a good
he didn't
point.
say anything after
Hooker
the fight.
came out after the fight
Yeah.
and said it.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's slightly different in those cases.
Yeah,
But I mean, at the same time, it's still not a good look.
Yeah.
For sure, it's
If
not.
he's gonna keep on saying it and being like, oh, it's only because of this and that. I'm not saying he is, but if he is and that turns out to be not true, then I'm probably gonna turn on Volkanovski, man. Because that's fucking lame. That's super lame.
If he continues it, sure.
Yeah. He already
But,
has though. He said it yesterday apparently.
what did he say?
He just like made like passing remarks, I guess, according to MMA News. You know, I haven't read the article yet, just the headline.
When you have a porn, yeah.
Alexander Volkanovski mocks Islam Makhachev amidst cheating allegation. Just take an L, dog. You know? I mean, let it play out, but like, fuck, man, I hate it when these guys do this. It's so like lame to me. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, true. Some guys make excuses, you know?
I know, man. Like, I didn't think. Well, I'm not saying Volk is. I know Volk is a hard worker. He usually never makes excuses. Don't get me wrong.
So then, in this case, I mean, so you have Beneil and you have Chucky going for number 1 contender spot, right?
Yeah.
Isn't
You
that
would
what's
assume
happening
so,
next?
yeah.
Beneil versus.
You
You
would assume
have-
so.
You have Yair with the interim. Volkanovski has already come out and said, you are more than welcome to defend that title. Run it back. Bro, run it back. It wasn't a bad fight.
I mean,
It was a great fight.
Yeah,
they
we can
asked
make that.
Islam
Oh, yeah.
on the after the fight. They asked him, "Will you fight him?" And he's like, "Why not?"
Yeah, run it
And then
back.
they asked Volkanovski, like, "Yeah, let's do it." Without he didn't
Oh,
even
they
think
should
about it
definitely
twice.
So
run it back, man.
you have what? At least 6 months? Do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I mean, you're gonna at that point.
Well,
then
I
you
think
have
we should let out Beneil and Charles.
let them
first, I
fight.
guess.
Well, sure. When is that fight?
I don't know.
Because I
But
mean,
when that happens, that'll probably be next. And
I
then,
think-
and then
well,
we can
sure.
get Volk again. You
but
know?
Islam
Islam wins, right?
Islam and but I mean at the same time you have a fight already set, right?
Mm-hmm.
These guys went 5 rounds. There wasn't a whole lot of damage taken. There was damage taken for
Mhm.
sure, but
Yeah, nobody got like super fucked.
no.
Yeah.
Set them up for the pay per view after the Beneil and
Nah,
Chucky.
they always want more time, and for a championship fight, you're gonna want like a lot of
I mean,
preparation.
these guys are already preparing all the
Yeah,
all the
I know,
time,
but
man.
you know, it's just how it is. I feel like
I say give them 6 months.
unless they both
Just-
agree to fucking do it, just turn around and do it, but that never happens.
4 to 6.
It never happens.
I don't think it's gonna be hard. I think they're gonna defend. He's gonna defend the featherweight.
I don't think he is. I think they fight again.
Maybe
before the end of the
once.
year.
Same so?
I think we're gonna revisit this maybe in a year.
I mean, well, technically, Volkanovski wants to fight what 3 or 4 times this year. That's what he
Yeah,
said.
I doubt Islam does. He never does.
And that's the thing. Like they never fight
Would you-
very. I never seen
They're not
like
that active.
Islam
You
or Khabib fighting 3 times in a
No,
year.
they don't do
But
it.
you can bring Volkanovski and Yair. If Yair and Volkanovski both agree to a fight within like 3 or 4 months, bro, you still have an extra 4 months where you can have another fight at the end of the year for Islam and
Yeah, but then you have Chuck and Beneil just chilling there. You know.
make it an interim,
Yeah.
just
I
like you
guess.
did with the featherweight.
Eh.
Sure, nobody wants to see it, but I want to see this fight a lot
Yeah,
more
wanna
than I
give-
want to see.
I want to give Olives or Beneil a shot again. Even if it's Chuck again, I wouldn't mind seeing that.
I wouldn't mind seeing it either, but I definitely want to see.
personally. I know he got finished, but
Look, I'm like the biggest Chucky Olives fan out there, but I want to see Volk versus Islam again. Call
Trust me,
greedy.
buddy. You're not the only one.
No, I
do
know.
wanna
I
watch
think
that
the whole
fight.
world wants to see that again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any doubt.
And if you
And I think it will happen. I just think we're gonna wait a bit for it.
and
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
you give them a full,
I mean, we
training
never
session-
got the third fight between Conor and Nate Diaz, which is like that was one of the biggest.
Yeah.
You know.
It was a huge one, sure,
Yeah.
but
I wanted to see that third one, but
Yeah.
it never happened.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Probably fight of the year though, maybe.
It's definitely a contender,
Right.
Yeah.
depending on
Just
what
because
happens
they're so
next
close
time.
and so suspenseful, you know.
The
Yeah,
limit-
And the stakes of it.
I think it's too soon. I think there might be a couple. You know, there's still the rest
It's
of the
way
year.
Now, let me
too
ask you guys this
Yeah.
too. There's a separate controversy going on right now because Volkanovski's still the number 1 pound for pound.
I
Do
agree.
you agree with that?
I agree.
Yeah.
Because he did go up.
Yeah,
So even though he lost, you still give him the number 1 pound for pound.
I'd still give him the number 1 pound. for
I
pound.
think that's a good argument for that.
Because it also it wasn't a huge beatdown.
Did they
Like,
change the ranking or it still remains?
No, that's what I'm saying. He's still number 1.
That
I
might
don't-
change, man. You never know.
Not because everything else has changed.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yours,
yeah.
yours interim. All the other ranks have
Yeah, all
changed.
the other ranks have changed.
Yeah,
I don't
it's been a controversy online because some people feel, of course, that Islam, since he beat him, should be number 1 pound for pound, but they haven't. They didn't give him that distinction. They didn't.
If you go down to featherweight, like Islam's gonna die.
Yeah.
He get trouble getting to that weight too.
Yeah,
165.
well, yeah.
So I mean, it's not.
Alexander Volkanovski.
But it is weird that a guy can beat another guy and not go above the rank in him. Even if it is pound for pound. Isn't that kind of weird?
Yes and no.
I get the argument for Volk, but I kind of feel like Islam should probably be fucking number one, man. He did win.
Possibly, but I don't agree.
It's just weird that they didn't do that. Like, what does he need to do then? What does Islam need to do then? Never, nothing. He's always going to be number two.
Destroy him. Ragdoll him. If you come in and ragdoll
that's
him.
totally unfair because Volkanovski can win a split decision and then that's fine. You know.
I mean, you're going up.
It's like, why does Islam have to do it so much fucking greater than Volkanovski? Volkanovski wins with a split decision or whatever. We give him the number one pound for pound, but Islam has to fucking destroy him to get that distinction. That's weird. Why are we doing that?
Because you're a higher weight class.
Nah, I guess so.
That's
That's the only argument, though, right?
That would be the only argument.
Yeah.
That's the only other.
Hmm.
So I mean,
that's fair enough, but I don't know. It seems weird to me.
I don't know, man. I want to see it happen. I want to see it happen. I want to see him run it back.
I feel like everyone just hates Islam. I really do.
No, I don't.
Poor guy. I'm gonna be a fan of Islam now, dude.
I like Islam.
Me too. He seems like a decent guy, man. Like fucking hell. But it just feels like he gets shit on all the time, you know.
It's because of his style.
Yeah.
And because
because of the wrestling. But
yeah.
I like him better than Habib.
Me too.
Because he can strike.
Yeah, he's more fun for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, and it's funnier. Right? Like on the mic, he's more funny.
Guys, you like it or not, I'm number one.
Yeah.
I told you I was coming.
Khabib's a fucking.
Isn't that crazy? You get your ass kicked by someone that can talk like that. Like, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Yeah,
that's just right,
dude. Yeah, right. There's a guy.
It's like Mike Tyson, right? Like you would think like his voice is very deep, and they're like, I'm gonna fuck you up.
No, man. So, all right. So that's about it. We got Jessica Andrade and Erin Blanchfield this weekend. We'll talk about that next week. And then we'll come back at you with some news. Peace out.
Peace out.